Hello, everyone, and welcome to this crazy story. Okay, it literally just happened to me 20 minutes ago or so. Now, I'll tell you a little bit before we start reading into what's happening here. So, I do play Black Desert Online every now and then, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, on the official server, the one that you can get on Steam. And it's okay. It's an okay experience. But I thought I'd try one of these emulators or private servers, whatever you call them. And so I downloaded one of them, which seemed to be the most popular one, called Games BD or something like that. So Games Black Desert. And basically the benefit of playing on that server is you get, the currency, the money currency, which you normally have to buy with real money. You get it for free basically every couple 30 minutes or so, and the XP rate is faster. Everything is faster basically. So, but then again, it has no value because it's just a private server. So this shit might go down in like a week or whatever. So I gave it a try, right? I played a little bit for like half an hour, legit. And then I messaged my buddy Hashimoto, who also gave me the x88 source back in the days. So like for CS:GO, like it was like a super bare bone thing back then, and well, you see what x88 is nowadays. So it has grown quite a bit. But I was talking to him because he told me previously that he made something for Black Desert, and I was like, "Do you have any idea about this emulator?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, look at this," and gave me some access to his old source, and so basically, the reversing was already done, and I basically just had to update it and like not update his project because that would have been way too much work, but the stuff that was interesting for me, I looked into either and updated it, like found the new offsets and shit, and wrote my own project. And so yesterday I thought, after grinding a little bit, so basically what I did is I wrote a completely automated grind bot. So you press a button and it would teleport from one enemy to another and then automatically kill him, and it would speed up the attacks a little bit and so on and so forth, right? And at the end of the day, I wanted to know what it looks like to other people, right? If somebody comes next to me and sees me doing that. And so I looked for a streamer or something on YouTube, and I found a Russian guy, and quickly added a PvP mode to my project, so it would teleport onto the players as well. And since there's only like 3 servers or something, it wasn't really hard to find them. And then, well, I tried it, killed a bunch of these guys, and obviously I was expecting to get banned after that because whatever. And so yeah, I looked today, I checked my account, and it's like I got banned for memory injection number 4. And first I thought, who gives a shit, play something else or find out how they're doing the hardware ID bans or whatever, right? And I'm not gonna talk about their anti cheat because their anti cheat is basically shit, but I don't want to give them any sort of an idea in what sense it's shit. It's a kernel anti cheat, but it's shit. Okay, that's all you need to know. If you want to bypass it, pretty easy. They're paying 90 euros per month for that shit. Anyways, I thought before I try to actually hardware ID bypass the ban, I would just try to see if I can convince this guy that I'm not cheating. And so all we know, or all I know, or all this guy knows, is that I was attacking really quickly. So that's how I fabricated my story. It was a little bit of creativity involved, Like he didn't see me teleport around and shit. I was 90% sure that he only saw me killing people really quickly, and that's it. So I start with, "Yo, man," and he's like, "Hi." I'm like, "I got banned for memory injection for like a few billion years. What's up with that?" Then I sent him the ban code, and he's like, What's your last character name? What you was logged in with?" And I'm like, the one I logged in with? No idea, I switched between them. My family name is Master Loser. Does this mean I have a virus or something? You know, I'm playing a little stupid here. You gotta build the foundation, you know, so he gets a feeling of who he's talking to, you know. In this case, an absolute idiot. Okay, I'm trying to be an idiot, you know. I have no idea about computers, no idea about programming, you know, I don't know anything. So he's like, it mean you used hack in-game. And I'm like, what hack? Pickaxe? Like pickaxe? He's like, what do you mean pickaxe? And I'm like hacking with a pickaxe to get iron ore? But I can't remember using a pickaxe. I haven't started life skilling. So in Black Desert, you can use like a pickaxe to like hit on rocks, and then you get something out of it. Same for chopping, you know, you take an axe and hit the tree and you get wood. So I was kind of playing along with that hacking, right? He's like, oh no. And then I'm telling him I was just grinding, like killing mobs. He's like, it means you use software for inject in-game client memory. I tell him I don't think so. Maybe OBS for video. Inject to capture screen. He's like, no. Your character was hit faster than possible for your class with all max stats and items and buffs in-game. So I'm like, oh, that's what got me banned. It's not injection. I have a button to overclock my CPU from 2 GHz to 4 GHz, and then the game runs faster. Now, the reason why I took this is because this is actually possible. Well, not nowadays, but back in the days it was possible. For example, in Assetto Corsa or in Race Room Racing Experience, if your CPU clock rate would change at the beginning of each of those games, if it would change while you're playing, you would get completely desynced from the server and you see nobody and nobody sees you. And in other games, you can speed hack with that method. Nowadays, I don't think that works anymore. But so that was basically my attack strategy here, you know. Trying to sell him the fact that I have a button on my main board that I press that goes from 2 GHz to 4 GHz, right? And then I tell him I was just on a trial character. To see if that actually works, but not in a real environment. Now, the reason I was on a trial character is because I thought to get to the battle arena, I need to be on a trial character, which was not the case, but I was still on that character. And then he tells me, when we can unban you only after you fully show how you did it, and we will be able to reproduce it, and only after it we can unban you. Now, this got me a little bit worried, to be honest, because how am I going to show him, right? I don't have such a button on my keyboard, on my main board. And I just continue on my story, right? It's a button on my main board. You have one on your main board? And he's like, we can buy same main board tomorrow. What model? And then I tell him, let me check, because I don't know a main board that has that. Like, I had one ages ago, but no idea what the name is. So I Google one. Come up with this one. Gigabyte Hours X370 Gaming K5. By the way, sponsored by Gigabyte. Just kidding, obviously I'm not. So I tell him that one, right? And I'm like, how can I show you when I can't get in-game? Because he meant that, you know, I have to show him. And I was banned, so I can't show him. He's like, for now, no need. I must buy motherboard first. And then he shows me a picture of this mainboard. And I already had this screen open. And here's the overclock button. It's this little tiny thing. Now, remember this layout here, right? Especially with the RAM and these condensators here, or whatever they're called, and this button right next to it, okay? Just remember it for later. He's like, look on image and tell me where the button and how it called in manual. So, you know, I just show him where the button is and tell him I don't have the manual. I mean, I don't have the manual to my mainboard either. Who gives a shit? You can just download that. And he's like, you need to configure that or just click button and it work. And here comes my story that was, I completely made that up, but it turned out to be pretty lucky in the end, because you will see that in the next couple seconds here. So I tell him, you set your default clock rate lower than normal. So let's say you want double the speed, you set it to half of your CPU max speed. So for me, it's 2000 megahertz. You start the game in default. And when you are in game, you press the button. Now you have 400 megahertz. and speed runs fast. So he wants a screenshot of that setting. Tell him it's in BIOS in the hopes that he doesn't keep bothering me. And he's like, okay, make photo on phone and send me. Now that was pretty problematic, but I made the best out of it. So I tell him, okay, be right back. I go on Google, you can already see it down here. I go on Google and I try to find something from that mainboard in the BIOS that looks remotely what I'm trying to sell him. And I did find something very similar. Probably not what it's probably not what I'm trying to say it is. But you'll see I made it look pretty legit. And then I basically I took this into Paint. I changed the things I needed to change. And, put the picture on full screen. And then I took a picture of it. So it looks like I'm actually in the BIOS. And, this is what it looks like. This is the picture. So we got the default mode here with half the clock rate. The overclock with full clock rate. Now, the fact that down here it says 3.5, well, he could have noticed that. The graphics card doesn't even seem to have any sort of clock speed here. And, well, the RAM, well, okay, that's a normal rate here. So, yeah, that was that. Sent him that. And I think he was still not convinced. So I sent him that. He's like, if I'm on account, can you record for me video on phone? Like when you click button and what happened in game? And I'm like, I can try. He's like, okay, give me username. I give him my username. Now the issue here is what he wants me to do is I go in game. I, do normal attacking or whatever. Then I press the button on my mainboard and click the buttons in game again. And then it should go faster, right? But now the problem is I don't even have this mainboard, and my mainboard does not have the button either, right? So like there is no button on my mainboard, and I don't have the same mainboard. Now he already showed me the mainboard, so technically he just needs to pay attention to the video and notice that I actually have a completely different mainboard. But we will go to that later. Now remember, here's the button right next to these things and the RAM and whatnot. So let's continue. I give him my username, my login. He's like, okay, and he's like, okay, can you record and enter? Can you enter and record on video when you click button, and how you do it fully in game? Come to place where nobody see you. Thanks. I'm like, okay, but you're not sending me virus to my computer now. They could technically send me a virus through the launcher or some shit. He's like, no. And I'm like, okay, because I have good antivirus. And then, I don't know, I think he got a little suspicious. He's like, man, really, stop trolling, please. You waste not only my time, but your own time too. I get money for my wasted time. You get only little fun. So it's not in your interest to such trolling. So I tell him, no, I show you. I joined channel 3. It's like the server. He's like, just record it on video, and moment how you click button on motherboard to how your PC look in this moment. I mean, not only in game. And I'm like, yeah, uploading video to here. So let's watch the video that I actually sent him, okay?
Normal, yeah?
Now, if you remember correctly, right there is just a bunch of condensators. I don't know what they call it. The thing that condensate, I don't know, whatever the fuck they do. But the button that I'm supposed to press should be over here. But there's nothing on my mainboard. But anyways, let's watch it.
I can go back. And now it should be normal. Try with
I'm just showing a difference.
normal.
Just showing a different skill. There's nothing involved with me pressing those buttons. This button is what changes all the stuff.
Sometimes it works, sometimes... Oh! It's mainboard.
It's mainboard! Now, I'm gonna tell you how I actually did it. Like, what the magical part is. Now, as soon as I move away from the monitor towards the PC, I press a button on my keyboard that changes the value in Cheat Engine. Okay, so if I press the arrow up, then I have high attack speed, and if I press arrow down, I have normal one. Okay, so that's all the magic here. So I sent this video to him, and he didn't say anything. He didn't even get the message. He didn't read the message. I'm like, you see, it's old trick. Works in many game. Running is normal speed though. It looks like he running fast, but not moving faster. By the way, do you guys look for programmers? I don't know any programming, but I can watch tutorial and get to know. I always wanted to work in gaming industry. And then he's like, I will investigate soon. Thank you. A minute later, don't use it in-game, please, cause our anti-hack think you can you use cheat program. Now, this is complete bullshit, because in reality what happened is, for 2 or 3 days, or maybe even more, I was using my rage bot, okay, and nothing happened. You know, the kernel anti-cheat was dead, couldn't do shit, and as soon as I killed the streamer, I got banned. Well, a day later or a night later. So yeah, his anti-cheat doesn't pick up anything. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to see if this works, cause unofficially it worked. Other emulator fixed it. Now this was actually quite dangerous here, because he's like, Melissa? I don't know if that's an emulator, who knows? I'm like, I don't know what name it was. I played it long time ago before I played official. I tried and it didn't work, but I had different mainboard back then. Then I played official like two years ago, and it worked there. And I just wanted to see if it works here. Sorry, boss. I don't even know if this mainboard exists for 2 years. This could have been another attack surface where he could have noticed that I'm bullshitting. So I'm asking him, so am I allowed to play again, or you need more proof? And he's like, no need more proof. I order same motherboard. It will come in 4 or 5 days. After I test, maybe need help, I will ask you. For now you can play, but don't use it. I'm like, okay, thank you. It's very easy to set up in BIOS. Now, I don't know if he's actually gonna buy the mainboard or not, but it would be hilarious if he buys the mainboard and then realizes, oh wait, I don't even have an AMD CPU. I need an AMD CPU. And then he's like, okay, well, I buy a Ryzen CPU. And then in the end, he spends like $500 to realize that this doesn't work. So yeah, I'm currently unbanned. Maybe I can show you. Yeah. Ban system. Good job! You have no ban. I press refresh. Oh, it already refreshed. There you go. Unbanned. You just need to make your story sound legit. You know, it was super borderline to tell that story, right? But at the same time, if the guy has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, it might sound plausible. And well, I guess that's it was plausible. Because I mean, it is plausible because it worked in the past, but not nowadays. And not in this game especially, because nowadays literally every CPU has turbo or some type of eco piece of shit where it just clocks up and down and whatnot, you know. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the story, and you guys want to HVH me in Games BD? I'm up for it. You got no chance, bitch. By the way, here's a little, I'll show you a little clip of what this actually looks like, if you're still watching. So here's my rage bot. Here's my rage bot testing on some mobs. Right? There's a little, and then this was yesterday with the streamers where I was testing this. So I'm coming here from the back. You will see the guy dies really quick.
Во, видел?
Yeah.
Да.
You know what I mean? Anyways, it's 2 in the morning. I need to go to bed. Thanks for watching and see you guys tomorrow.